Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Led podcast. It is Wednesday, the 1st of April. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. It is April Fool's Day, and, of course, no better day for us to be on here. I am joined by the resurrected Scott McCory.
Sam, Joe, how are you, pal?
I'm good. Well, I'm as good as any Celtic supporter could be right now. We're about to find out how that actually has manifested into our lives as we go through this podcast. And also joined by Jason Higgins out there on Wish Show.
Hail, hail.
Hail, brother. Possibly going to have Marty Flynn on at some point later. No Brummy Boy tonight, but I don't think anybody can bring levity to a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight. The last time we were on, I think, was the day before Paddy's Day, and the game after that was the Dundee United game, which we lost 2-0 in a fairly horrible performance. Jason, were you at that game?
I was indeed.
Yeah, well, Scott, were you at that game?
No, I was in Liverpool.
Right, well, I mean, I know it was like nearly 2 weeks ago, but I suppose it is the most recent match, and it is something to be talked about because everybody was just kind of. I've never felt air go out of a balloon, of hope as much as the end of that game and the kind of feedback and the kind of comments and people talking about that game. It was a solid week of pure rage, embarrassment, pure negativity, hopelessness, and everybody kind of recalibrating any kind of expectations they had. And I don't really think it's got much better in the last couple of weeks for most people. I think we're all kind of still sitting in that pocket going like, well, I think I was sitting at about 30% we're going to win the league, and you, Jason, today said that you were around 15-20. So 15-20 is probably where I'm sitting about now as well. So Jason, we'll get on to you. You were at the game. I assume the day out was good, like, and the trip was good, and the crack was good, and because everybody enjoys going to holidays. That pitch was an absolute shocker, but again, you can't really blame a lot of that. I mean, here's a question: at what point in the proceedings did it dawn on everybody, on yourself, that this was fucking going sideways because the team just were not capable of performing?
I'd like to say when the second goal and for them, but it was before that. It was just the second half in general. And first half wasn't much better, but you were 50-50 with them, and you thought it'll come good, but then it just got worse. And then you've got Hatate right back and stuff like that, and just nobody knew what they were doing, and then it just was like Keystone Cops. Couldn't even pass the ball to each other, and it was just fucking absolutely shambolic. You were hanging on to the fact that they'd lost. What are you typing at, Joe?
So I just put them the links for the YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, you were clinging on to the fact that they chipped 2 goals in the last few minutes against Dundee, but when it got to 90 minutes, I just got to stay to the end. It was diabolical. It was pathetic. It was. They just didn't know. They didn't look as if they'd seen a football before. It was kind of awful, and it looked as if they kind of were trying, right, but they weren't like doing anything. It was just fucking. It's one of the worst Celtic performances I've ever seen in my life against an absolutely terrible Dundee United team, and. Going about loads of things about the game, but I can't really be bothered. It was just terrible, and it's like there was nothing worth talking about. We had a couple of half chances, and that was it, and just fucking awful. And I mean, they were trying to play football in a park that you couldn't play football in, so why no fucking stick 2 up front? For a kick-off, Iniacho, we all thought he'd fucked off. We thought he was banned. We thought there was some clause in his contract that if he played so many. I mean, there's all that shite. And then he just appears, starts. And you're like, what the fuck's that all about? And starts up front himself. Doesn't really get any service. Has one kind of half sniff. And just terrible. And I just fucking... I don't really know what you want me to say, Joe. Is there nothing you can say?
No,
You watched it on the TV, right? So you've probably got more enjoying the game than me.
Well, I thought it was truly awful. Like there was one point in the game where you just had this feeling of like going, not only do I feel hopeless, I get the feeling they feel fucking hopeless too. It just felt like such a laboured. Like I mean, you can have laboured games. You can have games where the team look like they're not at their peak, and maybe get through them, maybe get a draw, maybe get a win. But it just looked after about 20 minutes to me going like this is most likely going nowhere. There's very little bite in this team, not a lot of dig. Passes break. Yes, the pitch didn't help, but I mean it's not like that pitch isn't the same for every other team that turns up there, and also the same team you're playing in the park against. I mean, this is where you make adaptations. I mean, we start, and like you said, we start putting the ball up front and seeing how it goes. But I think as it got deeper into the game, the concept of me as a supporter, I'm sure as a supporters watching them going like it got less and less. I'm sorry, it got more and more evident that they didn't really know how to turn it around, how to actually even exert a level of pressure to make you even think they might turn it around. And even imagine the game and you kind of lose hope and you start fiddling your phone, you start thinking of something else to do and you're in the house. It's a fucking horrible feeling because you're like, this team is so bad that they're turning us off, giving a fuck about a lot of it overall. I mean, marry that with what's going on off the pitch and among the fans. Like, part of your kind of being is going like, what are we putting all our kind of money in here for? Like this? Feeling like this? And it's just, it was one of those days where it really kind of landed at the end of the game. I was like, the hope of winning and the buzz of winning and the idea of getting the league is really all that's carrying anybody at all at this moment. It's certainly not an affection or an affinity or love of the club. It's just the idea that Celtic may possibly win the league, right? And we may be a beast away from talking about mathematical possibilities. You know what I mean? When it gets to that point, it's fucked. But
it's like see like Martin O'Neill as well. His team selections, you're just like, what the fuck? Every team, every week, he changes it. They never play with the same team 2 weeks in a row. He just changes it constantly. And Arthur, right, he looks no bad, but Trusty's fit. Trusty's a better defender than him. Why have you got Arthur there? I get it if Trusty's no fit, but Trusty's fit. It just makes crazy decisions. My views how he hung on to fucking Casper Schmeichel for long and weary. And the shite that he came out with, he didn't know there was anything wrong with him and all that shit, just absolute nonsense. But I've lost kind of hope him. I just think he's kind of daughter old man there.
But there was a period, Jason, when he was making those changes and it was different teams, and we were all kind of going like, well, it's not really his fault that with the players he's got at his disposal. He's trying this and he's trying that. Whereas I think we're all kind of like after the Dundee United game, we're all kind of like resolved, going like, it doesn't appear like anybody has an actual plan of how to win this league.
No clue what his best team is. No clue. He just flings shite at the moon and hopefully it sticks. And these substitutions and stuff like that are just crazy.
Atari at right back shouldn't have enraged me as much as it did. I was just sitting there going like, what the fuck are we doing?
I know. And you're thinking, Taneke, right? I get why he doesn't start, right? Impact sub, but fucking hell. Oxley Chamberlain, the two of them come on together, and then fucking Luke McCowan comes on. He's just no Celtic class whatsoever. And fucking Junior Adamu comes on. Fucking hell, I just felt like walking out the end. 75 minutes, I was like, I've had enough. It was at that moment I knew the season was fucked. Never being Dundee United. You're just like, fucking hell. It's so bad. It's awful. We are a terrible football team. One thing I would say to them is they all looked gutted at the end and they were all kind of trying, but they were just like busy fools. It didn't seem as if they chucked the towel in. They were just terrible. But I don't think they'd been set up correctly. I don't think they'd been out there with the right instructions. The park was an absolute joke, so you play it long, get into a battle, start fighting for it. Get the ball up the park quick. Don't bother about playing football in the middle of the park. It's pointless. You can't play football in the middle of that park. Why are you even going to try? Just turn the game into a battle and win at all costs. And granted, you're probably throwing them a bit of an advantage because they might be better at that than us because we don't play that type of game. But on that park, you can't play good football. I've no doubt if that was at Celtic Park, we would have won the game. Even though I don't rate the team, but we're far better than Dundee United. But the way they... And I'll tell you in a wee while, I was at a Q&A with Mark O'Neill last night at Celtic Park, and he kind of did mention that. In hindsight, I don't think we approached the game in the right manner.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah, he said that. And need the gasp. Yeah. So,
Well, we'll get on to the details of that later on. The Q&A. We want to get Scott's dose of doom and gloom as well. We all got to have an option.
We were over an hour into that thing last night, and I turned around to Liam and says, "I'll wrap this up to fuck."
How did it go on for?
Fucking too long. About an hour and 40 minutes. Couldn't believe it. See, when we get in, I thought it was going to be an hour. Next thing we're like, you'll be here for an hour and a half. First hour, we'll let Martin tell us about his career and all that. I'm like, what the fuck? I've heard all that about 4 times. Fucking let me out of here.
An Axon charging you again, weren't they?
Fucking, it was grim, man. It's fucking terrible. It's 2 hours of my life I will never get back.
Scott, do you want to unload your gloom for the Dundee United game? Are you the same as us? Did it land? I think it had landed harshly on you weeks before because you were kind of in the football doldrums, essentially, from most of what's been going on. But the Dundee United game really slamming home for you because.
So I was doing a Liverpool for a stag date. I'm just an all-nighter, so I'd actually went for a pint in the Witherspoons early doors on a Sunday. Started at fucking 7:30, usual pish. And we were sitting with a couple of current buns on it and we were talking about winning the league and who we thought won the league. And I said to the big boy that day, he says, I think Celtic are favourites. I was like, no chance. I don't think they're favourites. I think Hearts are favourites and then I think Rangers and I think Celtic are after because Celtic look short on everything. Every level of the team and club we look short of, and the fans are bubbling up behind them, not waiting for it, but like Jason, remember years ago we spoke about under Ange when we went to Livingston and we said, by the way, see if Celtic don't win, there'll be enough cunts to fucking, no matter all the shoots of fucking resurgence have been shown, there's enough Celtic fans out there who are raging about how things are going. And that's how I felt now. The 2 Ibrox games kind of covered things up. But the Celtic fans, there isn't a big wave of optimism of Celtic fans or even blind faith behind the team now. It's no people pushing them on. It's a big bunch of people hoping for the best, kind of expecting the worst, but fucking raging if it doesn't happen, as you saw at Dundee United. And I'm sure we'll come to it and we'll go. As I say, I make my apologies about, I'm probably going to say the exact same things as I said 15, 20 times this season because it still galls me. It still bewilders me. In terms of the game itself, well, it was fucking a fair drink in me. We went to, I think it was Molly Malone's, is it? Jason down there? Is that what it was called?
Fitzgerald's.
Was it Fitzgerald's? I remember. I don't know.
That's where the Celtic supporters go.
Well, we must have been there then. Yeah. And we watched the game. And obviously, as you say, as soon as you walk out, you see the pitch, you've seen the team, you're like, right, he must have a plan, and an actual must come in because they're thinking that this hit the big man and play off him. Didn't do that. Didn't do that at all. Again, Donovan, who is either brilliant or rotten in the big boy Arthur at the back, he wasn't overly bad, but I kind of went to them earlier on this season. I can't remember what game it was, about just how we've allowed the standard of player, and we don't seem to be poking the standard. Now, Liam Scales does deserve credit for upping the level that he's been playing at in terms of his time at Celtic, but he is the great fucking black mark on Celtic that says we allow mediocrity to rule our club, because Liam Scales isn't great. I'm not saying he's shite like all these other people. He's obviously a very, very good football player, but we should be looking for better. The Callum McGregor decision. Did we really need to bring Callum McGregor back into that game? Did we really need to, considering some of the big games we've got coming up? I don't think so. It never worked. It actually cost us. Rio had taken the decision to put Rio where he did. I'd love to see. I mean, and the thing is, though, I was blotto watching that, and I was fucking heeding my horns from Easter and second half. So I can't really tell you, but I can't break down the game for you, because I want to go watch it again. I'm not a fucking worry, but it just summed up where we are. We brought in Martin O'Neill, right? So we brought in Nancy as well. We know, and on the first day of the transfer window, we didn't have anybody lined up for him, allowing me to believe that we didn't believe in him, and his time was marked. It seemed it was a few days later he was gone. And we brought back Martin O'Neill straight away. And we did not afford that man players that would suit the fit that he likes to play. So as we sit there now, we'll sit with a bunch of players who have failed two managers, and the third manager doesn't play the kind of football that these guys are used to. There was a game under Wilfred Nancy, Aberdeen game, Jason, the famous Aberdeen game. And we could have won 10-1, 10-0 that day, easy peasy, the amount of dominance we had in the ball. But we were so powder puff in terms of tackling. We were second to tackles. Our tackles weren't good. And Martin O'Neill's teams generally are built on hard work, determination, being strong, and oft times being direct. When he came back the first time, we had Rangers turning because we were going direct, and you were sitting going, well, we'll work on that. That's the kind of players you get. And we brought in the guys we brought in, and the fullback aside, it's been a shambles, and it's ultimately led to this. Callum McGregor came out at the end of the game. I know I'm all doing the show here, but I don't really know what else to say. Callum McGregor came out at the end of the game and talked about putting on a win and run. Do you think this team's got a win and run in them? No. Really? I don't.
No.
And people keep saying to me, I think Celtic will get a chance because we're playing Hearts and the Huns at home. Now, we've no beat fucking Huns over 90 minutes since we beat them 3-0, fucking under Rodgers. For Engels scored and stuff like that. So, I don't have any confidence in the team. I think the manager is struggling with it. I think the coaching team are struggling with it. The fact they're still in a title race sums up the level of champion, whoever it is. But that doesn't matter as long as you go the line. But as I say, if we win this, tremendous. It'll be great. I'll celebrate it. But next season, and our lack of planning and our lack of structure in the club is giving me the fucking boat, to be honest. But Sunday was, see, for all the last minute winners, everybody kept saying we can't keep doing that, and that's basically what happens the other night. So I don't know if I answered any of your points, Joe, but I told you I was going to be miserable.
no, you were good. That was good. You went around the houses there, and that was good because it kind of covers all the kind of negative points that we've all fucking thinking of.
The Callum McGregor situation was just bonkers. bonkers. Totally agree with you. Yeah. And seemingly it was by design he was coming off after an hour. What the fuck? When does that ever happen? You put somebody on a fucking must-win game and he's coming off after an hour. What if it's 0-0 after the hour?
What happens if it's 0-0 and he's kind of running the game?
Aye.
Oh, sorry, boys, I'm off. Sticks his ball under his arm. That's that game done.
And you've got Bernardo there who's got a bit of dig. It's a part that you need a bit of digging. The damning start for that game is Dundee United 26% possession and 19 shots at goal. Reached 73% and 13 shots at goal. 3 on target. They had 8 on target. Fucking deserved all we go. Shocking. That fucking starting possession bit's pathetic. See the fucking defenders fucking. I mean, William Scales probably the most touches in the ball, and it's just terrible. But
that's where we go to under Rodgers as well. That was the same. And it's mad how we're in the middle of this fucking. Nancy get chased out of town for trying to change things up. No, I am not putting a case for Nancy. I mean, it was a wrong person, wrong time, wrong movie, wrong everything. But the players, like Joe, we talked yesterday on the WhatsApp, and I was saying I'd like to kind of do a few pods about this season at the end of the season. A review, hopefully fucking a review, how do we win this league, we'd call it. But their review, because the decisions made on this season have been as self-sabotaging as you'll ever get. I don't think anybody disagree on that. The decisions by the players put a big question mark over lots. And the decision after the park with regards fucking how they treat the supporters. We know this. Like I say, I do have a take for you, Jason, though, and Joe, if you want to kind of listen to it. I would. I'm going to have script here, so I'd like your opinion because it came into my head there. So I was watching. It was Paddy McGuinness, Nicky Butt, and Paul Scholes' their podcast.
I've seen some online. It's very good.
Clips it. It's quite good.
So I've not really ever watched a full episode. But like you, I kind of the pop up, and it was one popped up the day, and they were talking about Andy Carroll. Did you happen to see it?
No.
So what they said was Andy Carroll did not want to leave Newcastle. He didn't want to go to Liverpool. He was a big Newcastle fan. He was on form. He loved it there, and even the helicopter booked for him. And as he was getting on the helicopter, he turned round to his agent and went, "I don't want to go." And they spoke about how a player who wasn't sure about the move straight away, then doesn't hit the ground running. And I know Newcastle Liverpool isn't the furthest away, but I dare say he's staying there himself and he's not got his family beside him. And it must have been really, really hard. Right now, flinging the 35 million, then it's doubly hard because everybody's expecting from you. And we convinced Balak Wisha. We had to send somebody to go and convince Balak Wisha to come to Scotland. And he's joined a team that are in total fucking flux. The manager's fighting the board's fighting the manager. The players have kind of lost impetus because of all the players we've sold. We've signed him for 5 million. We've launched him in the first. Now, don't get me wrong. He's looked fucking garbage. He doesn't look like a football player. Like I'm going to say, like the other 2 boys we signed in the hanging. But I don't know who he's on here with, but if he didn't want to leave that club, and then he comes here and he's been dropped in the middle of a shit show, and the fans are fucking unforgiving as fuck now. We're no, because of what's happening, we're no giving anybody a break. And in general, people don't give people breaks nowadays. I do have a lot of sympathy for the boy. A lot of sympathy for him, man. You see opinions on that?
I kind of don't disagree with you because it's obviously hard with folk coming from a different society and what whatever and moving away from home to a different country. And everybody just puts out their own fortunes, fucking pull yourself together. And
Yeah.
it's hard for folk. And and if his heat's no right and he's no in the... I mean, you look at the guy's stats where he's played, he can obviously play football. He's obviously a decent football player, but he just looks miles off it. Whereas,
Yeah, he does a little player.
there's got to be reasons behind that, and everything you've mentioned will definitely contribute towards it. You know, and it's just, but he's one of many. You look at the rest of them we've brought in, you're just like, fucking what? I mean, apart from your Arajo, the lot of them have just been average at best.
Yeah.
It's actually, can you believe that I'm actually praying that Callum Osman's fit shortly, that he could potentially win us the league? You know, he's like my last hope, because we've got nobody to put the ball in the net. How can we possibly win this league when we've got nobody to score a goal?
Exactly. And it was done through choice almost, wasn't it? They were desperate to fucking grab the money for these players, do you know what I mean?
See, we lined up at Ibrox. You lined up at Ibrox, and I think Celtic's starting 11 cost £6 million.
Aye, so they had that set up online.
£6 million. You know, it's like we've got all these bunch of loan players that are not going to be here at the end of the season.
Exactly, and we're expecting them to fucking do the doggies and fight and give their heart for us, and you're sitting there going, it's kind of unrealistic, really, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's mental. It's just how beggars belief how we're in this position, but it's obviously it's came for the top, dude. It's like I did hear no names mentioned, but from inside Celtic Park, and this won't come as any surprise to anybody, the Desmonds do not listen to anybody within Celtic Park.
Yeah, it's that billionaire narcissism going like, fucking, how dare you talk to me and tell me how to fucking do things? Fuck off out of here. I've made plenty of money.
Right.
No, but that's...
But that's symptomatic of the whole fucking, you know, the world in general, that late stage capitalism world that we fucking live in general. Being like the billionaires are the smartest people in the world because they made the most money, which when it comes down to the fine of things like, you know, running football clubs and, you know, navigating these kind of sort of sporting fucking situations and overall kind of team-based motivational sort of choices and progressive development plans, these people don't give a fiddler's fuck, because all they're looking at is the money getting lower or is the money not getting lower? Because that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
But it just seems mad. It does seem just a total. But again, we've been all this 8 million fucking times. Right, this is a happy listen.
Hear it. See if you're in your car tomorrow morning or Thursday morning and have this in the podcast and let HomeBhoys for a bit of crack. We apologize. We apologize. You're about to have the shittiest day ever. But it's good for Eddie soon. So be all right. I mean, Easter's coming, chocolate and all that shit. Be grand.
There you go. There's Christianity. Catholicism.
Exactly. Listen, it might be shit now, but Jesus is coming back on Sunday.
Help me, Superman.
No, I think it's cathartic to kind of get these things out because, like, I don't know about you, but like, there's times I'm in my work day, I'm a regular life, and I'm just like, fucking something, fuck's sick. I mean, punch a shit.
I don't feel it's cathartic when you. I don't feel it's cathartic. I think at the end, like I say, the end of the season, I think we'll kind of get to the end of the season. I think we'll break it down, and I reckon over time we'll laugh at the ridiculousness of Wilfred Nancy and Paul Tisdale running Celtic. I think over time we'll laugh about it. I keep saying this to my mate, and he's like, I'm greeting about it, but I think we will get to a point. Right. So this season is what it is. It's going to be what it is, right? Do you have a belief in you, right? You think about it. The Huns beat us at Hampden. the time Roger missed the penalty under Ronnie, and Ronnie quit soon after that, says he'll finish the end of the season, and we came out with Rodgers, and we somebody actually made a really good point recently that we didn't really invest a lot of money that summer. We invested a lot of money in the manager, and then we went and got Ange when we needed him, and we invested, and then we got Rodgers again, and we didn't really invest until the following year. Now knowing what we know, because I think the mask has been well and truly pulled off the Scooby-Doo baddie here. And ironically enough, it's generally a fucking white-haired guy with a moustache. But do you expect something major in the summer? What is your expectation?
Go ahead, Jason.
Anyway,
mine's is probably
go with that first.
Robbie Keane, because that's what Dermot Desmond does.
He's in the Rolodex. He's in the contact list. He's getting the call, isn't he? Like,
so it'll be somebody shit like that, and it'll just be awful. And I expect Celtic to totally downsize going forward and just say fuck yous. And I just think it's going to be an abs. I don't see the Green Brigade getting back in. I see them probably getting banned forever. Yeah. And I see them then coming for the boys and just sterilising the full stadium. And I just see it just turning into a massive shit show of beyond anything I've ever seen before. And I'm actually talking about with the Kellys and Whites, because then you had a bit of hope it would change. And the only hope we've got is if Desmond takes his family out of the equation and just keeps his shares for an investment and lets somebody else take over control of the club or whatever. But I don't see anybody buying him out. I don't see Lord Hockey being the knight in shining armour, pardon the pun. But I don't see him being anything. I don't see David Lowe's getting to grips with the shares. I don't really see anything. I think the ball was totally in Desmond's court. And I don't know. Because obviously the collective, your party at Scotland, you've got a meeting tomorrow night. You have kind of rightly kind of took a back seat recently because with a kind of title to win and you kind of no want to totally divide the fan base, which was getting us in name sort of thing.
Sound like somebody stuck a bag on your head, Jason.
Your microphone's a bit muffled. Move it there.
Is it?
That's better. That's better.
Aye. I just.
That's you again.
Is it? I need to hold this mic near me. It's I've just got, as you said, I've just got no hope that anything's going to turn out good out of this. I don't think it's going to be like a wake-up call for Celtic. I can't see him punting Nicholson, Hargreaves, all them. I can't see a total revamp of the way Celtic are ran. I listened to the Green Brigade's podcast with the Cynic. Thought it was really good. Thought Martin spoke excellently. And I kind of do agree with him in the sense that Brian Wilson seems as if he actually does want dialogue and he does want things to a bit of reconciliation. But as I said before, the Desmonds don't care. He's got no power whatsoever. He's just a stoogie in that position. And he doesn't have any clout whatsoever. I still don't think Nicholson and that have any clout either. You know, everything, I think, just comes through the Desmonds. And they decide what happens. And we're just basically fucked.
I don't have any faith in the people who have fucked it up suddenly going into the summer. Right. Need to give our heads a shake here and really fucking put the thinking caps on and really do this properly, because the fans weren't happy last season and we need to make them happy this season. If they fucked it up that badly and they were out in front of us going like, we think we're doing everything to a world-class standard, they're not suddenly going to change how they're operating. Unless it's a change of personnel and a change of actual sort of tone and, you know, thinking. I think, I hate to go back to this, but like a Don Mackay type of sort of...
Well, that's what I was exactly thinking there, but let's face it, if we get a new fucking sharpshooting CEO in the building that wants to do things his own way, that's not of the the will of the Desmonds, then he's going to get pumped.
Well, here's the thing. See, you mentioned that. Like, I know we've always kind of hazarded this, going like, well, is it possible this happened to Don Mackay, that happened to Don Mackay? See, knowing what we know now this season, right? With the way things have played out, and the way we've been treated, and the way that, you know, they've essentially communicated to shareholders and people who have, you know, have an actual stake in the club. Know what we know now. It's quite clear and completely plausible that Don Mackay came in with ideas, a bit of motivation, some energy, and they were like, clip his fucking wings.
But see, that would be my bet anyway. But who knows?
Well, but it's definitely more on the 70% side now than it was back at the time when we didn't know. I mean, because I kind of look at. I'm probably going to paint him as some messiah that we lost. But which probably isn't true. But he seemed like a guy more able and more willing to try and attune the club's culture closer to the fan engagement sort of level. In my mind, because remember he gave the Kano the free season tickets for the year, and then not long after he was skidding across the car park with a P45 in his hand. Right? So I think now I know what we know in terms of like how dictatorial the whole Desmond sort of regime is. Not just the father. Now, you know, apparently Junior's coming through the fucking door with his attitude. It's quite clear that, like, you know, you don't get to come in and put an imprint of what you think the club should be like if they hire you to do an overall job about what the club should be like, because at the end of the day, that will be dictated by the person who everybody doffs the cap to and who everybody turns to for direction. And I'd say if you're working for Celtic at a particular level and you're a massive Celtic fan and you also agree with, you know, our misgivings about the way the club's going, I'd say it's a fucking tough pill to swallow when you're actually in there as an employee, just going like, this is fucking, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel with that, Joe, because I think we've got to the point where every senior individual at Celtic, it seems this way, hold contempt for the supporters in some way.
But that must dilute somewhere down the chain of command. Must do.
Joe, if you see, so the thing is, right, we talk about longevity, right? So longevity in a job, and if longevity at Celtic is everywhere, right? There's people who've worked in the ticket office for 100 years, there's people who work in the car park for 100 years, there's people who work in security, there's people working. We've got this litany of people who have had the job for fucking ages and ages and ages. And they've seen the highs when it's all great, but they've also seen the lows when the Celtic fans can be cunts. And generally, that stage of Celtic fans being cunts seems to have a lasting legacy. Now, I know a pretty high up employee who has told me they despise Celtic fans. We saw the way Chris Mackay dealt with them. The way Peter Law finished up with Celtic showed you there was no thanks to all the Celtic supporters who have helped create it was basically an attack on Celtic sport. Right? I believe that there is an unhealthy disdain of the actual match going supporters within the club. And that's mine. Now if you take a wee sit back and think on that, that's really, really, really unhealthy. The difference this year, I feel, is that a lot more Celtic fans have seen behind the curtain, and that bit of trust, that bit of empathy, that bit of support for Celtic has gone as well, because Celtic have shown how much they don't give a fuck about us. Whereas Jason's been on for years, I hate fucking Celtic support. I hate fucking the cunts that run your club, right? I'm taking you to context there, Jason, I appreciate, but do you know what I mean?
Don't be much.
No, but you know, there's guys like yourself who have kind of, I mean, let's be honest, the Green Brigade, away for even the boys of Green Brigade, Brigade have had fucking all these guys on posters for years. Fucking these guys are a cancer. You know what I mean? And this year, once we've had the fucking audacity to say we should be doing better, as Joe says, Dermot Desmond and his fucking cabal have went, fuck you then. Absolutely fuck you. So people used to tell me, Marty was one. It's better the devil you know. And I kind of go, so we're on now at the one of some cunts huffs. We all got to keep quiet. Shh, 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 she's coming. It's like your dad, now your dad used to come and beat your dad.
Don't wake your father.
don't wind him up. Don't wind him up. You know what I mean? By the way, my dad didn't beat my mom. Beat me up. But it's a very, very toxic relationship we're currently in. Isn't it that we've all got to toe the line and don't shake the boat? I mean, to be honest, the AGM is now 6 months away. It's time for people to kind of get on. But I am now seeing, well, I don't know if this season I've seen the futileness, if that's even a word, of being angry. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been angry all season and it's done no good at all.
But I'm over it, to be honest with you.
But that's the tragic part, because anger in a certain ways can be healthy in terms of like, because it shows you've got a fucking a legitimately passionate concern about something. But it turns to fucking apathy, and you're still handing over your fucking dough. Because I mean, like, the season ticket emails are going to fucking land any day.
Right, and there's a big. I dare say that'll be a big talking point tomorrow. I'll put my hand up honestly and say I don't know how much it'll be a talking point, but there will be a load of Celtic fans saying we should boycott the season tickets. The vast majority will not boycott the season tickets. But how can you do that and let Celtic know? But I'm honestly at the point, I just don't think Celtic care. Just do not care, man. They are trying at every level to squeeze out as much money as they can. And the irony being, if they reverted back to their we kind of love you, we're the Celtic family, and actually kidded on, a lot of Celtic fans would just buy it and get back in and stuff. But there's still loads of people, myself included, who don't buy fuck all for them. You know what I mean? And this summer's given me the boat. It's been giving me the boat since before Christmas, and it's now a real thing. Because I see my season ticket in terms of away tickets. My season ticket's gold, man. It's gold for away tickets.
Yep.
That's mega useful to my bus. So I could decide I'm no going. I could fuck the bus up as well. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like the huddleboard guy, the guy that annoys everybody. Somebody clamped him a people. I think they clamped him a people. When see Jason, we spoke about it. What point did the Celtic board of directors actually really give a fuck about the fans?
Oh, never.
Never, right? So,
but they kind of played the game.
But it's not even playing the game. We've got 250 Celtic supporters banned. And the irony being, right, and I don't like putting them on a pedestal because they are just punters like us. They're match going, away going, European going Celtic fans.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the real deal. This isn't fucking I'm not going today, I've got a bit of golf. These are guys who are, if you're not there, they want to know fucking why you're not. That's who these guys are.
These guys live and breathe Celtic.
Yeah. And first of all, the way some Celtic fans hate them sickens me. The way the club hates them sickens me. The way the cops just treat them like the utter dregs of society sickens me. But the way that some people go, it's always been bad. It's not any different. We've never had 250 of our own blocked out. Do you know what I mean? Celtic family by fucking whole. Honest to fuck. So, I don't know.
It's pathetic. But it's pathetic. But you know, I went out for a pint with a couple of guys lived next to me on Friday night. One of the guys was my brother's mate, younger than me, and he was talking about he's been on the waiting list for 10 years, him and his son, to get 2 season tickets, and he gets the email every year. So that waiting list is actually real. He's been on it for 10 years and can't get a season ticket.
Is he just looking for himself?
No, 2. Him and his son.
I think that's where your problem is.
Aye, but you think 2. It's different if he's looking for 4, you would
No,
think.
I still think 2 together. I mean, I think there's a bit of, because my Waynes have been on it for ages, for years and years. And my missus been on it. But I'm looking for fucking Wayne's ticket and tickets together. So ultimately, unless fucking a whole bunch of people wrap it, you're not going to get that. But I've known people who were on it for a year and got a ticket.
I was only on it for 3 years.
I mean,
And you got 2.
I got 2 together.
One as well, aye.
Aye, it's mad. Well, he told me on Friday night, he's not going to be telling lies, but he's been on it for 10 years and he's never got one. See that club Celtic as well. There was folk asked me about getting season tickets. I asked them, he says, they stopped the waiting list in there 5 years ago because there was that many people want tickets. So, see getting hospitality, see trying to get like a table at Celtic in that Walford or club, whatever, number 10 or whatever, there is no waiting list because it's impossible to get one.
Well, they're the real plans, Jason. So
no, but I mean, but Celtic are maxed out. You know, it's like, and you think they're going to put the prices up next season again.
Yeah.
It's fucking abominable. And it's...
But see, in fairness, the only way is if we don't go, which isn't going to happen. So this is going to... sometimes I think we've got the board where a lot of people deserve.
Aye. And it's...
this summer, I've got a feeling we'll either go for Robbie Keane or if Ipswich make a contempt, maybe we'll push out for that boy. Maybe I don't know. That's one seems a wee bit.
Maybe Bellamy.
No, I can't see Bellamy because Bellamy's talking the talk in terms of staying with Wales.
Right.
No, but as you see, an Irish manager who's the most high-profile Irish managers currently cutting about. Well, imagine we get David O'Leary, David O'Toole.
Jake, there's no chance of getting James Bertalascu.
Well, I heard the rumour he'd been in the building speaking to them. So, I mean, your worry about him is it is a one-season thing, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't really care who they get. I mean, the Robbie Keane one, it'll stick in the throat, won't it?
Oh, aye.
Because it'll stick in the throat.
But if there's no Green Brigade there or fucking the boys to fucking let them know that the people aren't happy with.
Well, somebody made a good point, right? Celtic fans are all very pro-Palestinian. Do you see many Palestine flags now?
No.
Yeah, I did it.
There's a Jambo in the chat now, and he says Steve Clark could be the next man. The guy actually seems all right. He's not getting MD abuse or anything like that.
I haven't banned him yet.
He says Steve Clark might be the man.
Your man comes on a good few. He's been on he's decent, man. But Steve Clark, I can bite my banger, man. But I think it's who the fuck are we to fucking start looking down our nose at any country now, man?
No, that's a hang. Fuck it. I can be fucking anybody. If Robbie Keane starts winning games, I'll be like, all right, well, whatever.
Get Dale McKinley, son.
I mean, see, regardless of what you say about Steve Clark, qualifying for 3 major tournaments for Scotland is fucking unbelievable. You think about the last 20-odd year.
No, I know. But the fact of the matter is, you've then got to trust that he's going to be a better man. In fairness, this is the best batch of players we've had in a fucking long time. You agree or disagree with that?
The best batch of players.
Aye. See
What
that
do you mean?
midfield, man? Fuck me.
Scotland team, aye.
Oh, the Scott. I thought you were talking about Celtic there. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you're talking about Scotland. Aye. There's been a generation. Aye, there's definitely been a generational upturn.
And I still do think that Steve Clark really sometimes plays with a handbrake on,
But see, to be honest with you, can you imagine Scotland had a good striker? Fucking hell, what a team they'd be.
I mean,
You know.
God, we're just talking Shankland. How you wonder how Shankland
Aye.
played, fuck's sake. But
He's injured for a bit there.
I can see Celtic appointing Robbie. I think Robbie Keane's top of your list, and then I can see them putting a director of football or the likes in place to take the ship. I can see that this summer because Mike the Mute has, even for his standard, he's saying fucking even little. He's not been going to meetings or nothing. You know what I mean? And I keep hearing that he's got the intention of stepping aside. So,
Aye, it's good.
see the thing. I mean, I have no lover of Hearts, and ironically, I know I've had some fucking great times in Hearts companies, but it is at that stage that you want them just to go and win all the rest of their games. Good luck, lads. but we are just so bad, man.
So I'll give you a wee rundown of what happened last night of that Q&A, right? And then we can go on to talking about that will kind of lead us, because at the end of it, eventually they discussed what could potentially happen by then for the end of the season, right? So basically, as you know, I sit in Club Celtic, so they get an invite, Q&A with Martin and Neil, so I thought Q&A, fair enough, I'll go along. But I was a bit like, you've got to go along here, right? There's nothing you can really, because when you hit them before with Ange, Brendan Rodgers, etc., even Ronnie Dyler, when you had them before, you could ask them what their aspirations were for the future and stuff like that. The Martin Neil's coming along, and you can't ask him in like that. You know, he's not going to be there. Or he might not be there, but it's like, what's going to come out of this? And then you think to yourself, and you've got to actually realise the type of punter that's there, right? So I'll give you a couple of snippets of the questions that they asked. And that tells you the type of punter that's at this, right? So he comes in, Jerry McCulloch introduces him, and then he promptly says, right, well the way it will run is, there was 4 seats there, there's only 2 of them. He says, so the way it will run is, he told everybody to turn off their phones, etc. It's a private event, so everybody can talk open, honest and whatever. Don't film it, record it, etc. It's fine. And then he says, now Martin, we'll have an hour of Martin talking about his, I'm like, what? An hour of Martin talking about his career and everything. Here's some stories you've never heard before. I'm like, right, okay, brilliant. I'm like, you're kidding me on a fucking hour. So, and then we'll do a half-hour Q&A, or a 15-minute Q&A, and then we'll get Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham on. Wow, right, okay. So Anil starts to tell his stories, and yeah, it's funny, right? But it's just like, he's like your uncle at a party, and you're going, heard all this before, heard that before. Right?
Did I ever tell you about the time I did this, son?
And the thing is, he was getting off on a tangent, and Jerry McCulloch was trying to rein him back in, and like, he was fucking all over the place. And you're like, aye, very good, very good. And obviously he's funny, right? And aye, there's a couple of good ones, and like, but I heard it all before. So, long story short, we get to the end of one of the longest hours I've had in my life, and it's a Q&A now. So Jerry McCulloch, in his fairness, he says, we're trying to get some questions for the young ones in the room, because he says they usually ask the most pointed question. But he goes to a guy in the front row straight away. Guy's questioning him, hi Martin, I just want to take you back to, can you remember your second Old Firm game? We lost 5-1 to Rangers, right? I can remember it well. He says, hey, you hear this? Can you remember what you said to me after the game? And he was like, what? The guy's like, can you remember what you said to me after the game? I'm like, fucking swallow him up Sunday. Next thing, and Jerry McCulloch, Martin's like, I'm really sorry, I can't, but he says it was a good. He says it was a good wake-up call for us. He says after winning 6-2, he says then we get beaten and we realised the job we had in front of us. He says it was a good wake-up call for us. McCulloch went back to him and says, what did he say to you, by the way? It was, if you lose 5-1, obviously a lot of the blame goes on your keeper. And Martin O'Neill says, well, that's pretty natural. If he lets 5 goals in, your keeper might have a good bit to do with it. He said to me, it's a bit of a problem when and Rob Douglas was in goal, by the way. So Rob Douglas is about 6'3". He says, what you said to me is the problem is when your keeper's 5'6" and when he jumps up, he goes to 5'2". The place just went silent, Martin. He was like, no idea what you're talking about, mate. He says to be, and Martin O'Neill.
What the fuck?
Aye, that's what the guy said. And Martin O'Neill says, in fairness, I would never say anything derogatory about any of my players out with the dressing room. So I don't think I'd have said that. Oh, you did. And that was it. So he moved on to the next guy.
That's a batshit crazy thing to fucking say to anybody.
That's it. And it didn't get any better. Goes to the next guy. All right, Martin, how you doing? Bit of an English accent. He's like, yeah, I was at Wembley last night. I was in the Hilton in Wembley. And I was like, I'm not giving a fuck where you were. What's the question to Martin O'Neill?
Daddy Warbucks, were you?
And I got in the lift and I just turned around and Dyson was there. Martin O'Neill says, what was he doing there? He says, well, he was doing playing with Japan. Oh, aye, so he was. Martin O'Neill kind of forgot. And then the guy got to his question. He says, what's he like to manage? And he starts telling jokes about how he's great to manage, but he doesn't say anything, he just smiles and just runs all day. And it was a bit like, right.
Astonishing insight.
Oh, then one guy says, Martin, can I just say I'm for Tyrone, and Tyrone men don't like Derry men. And he turned around and he's like, but can I just say to you, in behalf of us, in times of struggle, we've looked at the elder statesmen. When we look at Jock Stein, we look at Billy McNeil, and we've looked at yourself now. And Martin, please stay for another year because the club needs you. So the guy said to him, and about 3/4 of the room gave like a lukewarm clap. I'm like, please fucking don't. Just fucking, and I'm like, fucking swallow me up, man. And
what else did Liam say?
Honestly, and I'm trying to think of anything else anybody says. It was just utter shite. I was dying to just say, and do you know what? The life had been sucked out of me. I was going to say, Martin, can I get your honest opinion on Casper Schmeichel, please? Just something like that. But there wasn't any questions at all that was going to get a proper answer to find out. But he did mention through the course, so the next bit, Maloney and Fotheringham come on, right? And Maloney starts speaking. He's like a wee boy, man. He was out his depth, right? Even talking in front of us. And then Fotheringham, he was really good. Obviously, his mad Dundee accent, talking about training the players and how everybody's fighting for the cause, and we haven't got the best players in the world, but we've got good players and they're all still committed. But then Martin O'Neill did say, he says, I think we approached the Dundee United game wrong in hindsight. But then what he said about his managerial style, McCulloch, he asked the best questions to him. He's like, if you had to change it, he says, without a doubt. He says, when I was here the first time with Robertson and Walford, he says, everything I said went. He says, those guys had never managed a football team. So he says, they just took my word as gospel and they went with it. But he says, I've got now somebody like Sean who's been a manager. So he'll maybe question things, but he says, I also go to Sean and Fozzie for advice. He says, because this isn't really my time. So I need their advice, which I thought that was quite good. So he's obviously relying on them for a lot of the stuff that's happening on the park, which was fair enough. And Then they got to the bit at the end. McCulloch actually asked the question because nobody else was. Martin, can we win the league? And he said, of course we can. Then he went to Sean. So what they started saying was, obviously, Dundee United was a disaster. He says, but we've got 7 games left. And he says, if we can get by Dundee with a win, we're then sitting with 4 home games and 2 away games. And he says, if we can get to the business games, talking about Hearts at home and Rangers at home, if we can get to the 2 games, still with a chance of winning the league, he says, then I fancy us to win it. He says, because one thing is, the players have got the application, and he did say we're lacking in a lot of things. We don't have the physicality I had with my team before. That's fine. And he says, we don't really have anybody to put the ball in the net. And he said that as well. So he says, that's 2 big things that we're lacking in, but he says we're no lacking in desire, and every player in that dressing room believes that they can still win it. So we believe it, and we just need to wait and see what happens. But he says it all comes down to, if we can get to the proper games after the split, still with a chance of winning it, then we believe we can win it. So that was a kind of a wee bit of a crumb of comfort. And I mean, on paper we can still win it. I just can't see it. You know,
I can't see it either, Jason, for the reasons we've already spoken about. I don't see us putting a run. And see, to be honest, however shit the Huns are, the Huns have fucking lost, 2 games all season. Is that right? Am I right in saying?
They've drew about 13 or something.
Aye.
We've drew 1 or 2 if we're lucky.
So the Huns have lost to Hearts twice.
Aye.
That's it. I mean, they've drew 12, fair dues, but almost 2 games, and we're sitting here going, we'll beat them. Fucking, we'll beat them. Fucking hell.
I know.
It's funny, your story there reminded me we done a Q&A with Tommy Gemmell, of all people. And we had that, I think it was Tommy Gemmell and Betty Old, I think it was. Certainly Tommy Gemmell was definitely there. And it was in the Learys in Northern before it moved in. And it was all the questions, right? Some really, really good questions. I remember how good did you think George Conley was? Oh, and he went off in one about how good he was and stuff like that. So I was like, right, cool. I've got a good answer. That was a good question. And it was a guy straight after me. He's sitting, he's got his horn up for ages. And eventually it comes to me, you sir. He's like, yes. What about the bus parks in Seville? That was a fucking disgrace, wasn't it? You were like, what? You've got a fucking Lisbon line here, you fucking clowns, you know what I mean?
Let's get through folks' heats. I mean, there was other questions there last night, and you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Honestly, and you're just like, these folk, honest, I was just like, get me out of here. But, so that's kind of what it was, but, but on paper, right, now this is a big if. I mean, I can't believe you're saying that, but if we beat Dundee, right, if you beat Dundee, Hearts are at Livingston, I think, and Rangers are at home at Dundee United, Hearts could slip up at Livingston, without a doubt. I mean, MD could. And I don't think Rangers will slip up at Dundee United. So if that's the case, say Hearts were to slip up there, then it's down to 3 points we're behind. We've still to play both of them at home. So it's kind of back in your own hands, but I just don't have any confidence in us. I definitely think Hearts and Rangers will drop points, because one of them definitely will, because they're playing each other.
Aye.
But Hearts, the point that they have to play Motherwell twice, and they've struggled against them this season. So they have to go to Fir Park and they have to play them at Tynecastle. They're not taking 6 points out of that. Rangers are going to Tynecastle. Every chance. I don't know. You don't know how that could go. It could go anyway. So, I would take a run in Wales and Hearts the now for the week.
Aye,
That
aye.
would be it. Yeah, I'd give them a 3-point start.
It's an absolute shambles that the Rangers are in the running at.
Oh,
Considering how they started.
oh. But
I mean,
they've got the same thing as us with Nancy. But if they didn't have Russell Martin, if they'd get Danny Rowland at the start of the season, he might do it.
Of course, that's fair dues. But Jason, they'd done that at the start of the season. We'd done that in the middle of a fucking. We sat and spoke about it, and we were all kind of going, feels a bit fucking mad. We were almost convincing ourselves that it was a good idea. But everybody knew it wasn't. I don't think there's any fucking right. I'll tell you. I'll ask a question here. That I was watching Open Goal. I've been still watching Open Goal, and they've had an argument that if Hearts win the league, it would be a bigger achievement than when Aberdeen first won the league. But
I would say aye.
I think definite. I think
Given the finances of today, I'd say so.
Well, I think also hindsight kind of gives you, it helps me with this one because Hearts are the great, right? And I think Hearts have known that as well as us. And I think a great point was made by Mulgrew. When Hearts hit their slippy time, we appointed Nancy and we almost let them off scot-free, yeah? It would be really interesting if Hearts do win the league, what they do afterwards. I think. Because the thing is, see Ferguson's team was challenging for the league beforehand,
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So it was almost when they won it, there was like it was about time.
Yeah, I know, but you can't really compare because
I know.
The Aberdeen players were tied to the contracts that they couldn't leave. They'd have been paid comparable wages to folk at Celtic Rangers.
Yeah.
So, totally different world. Whereas, you know yourself now, if a player wants to leave, they'll leave. You know, all the powers with the player. And
No, I know, but you think, right, so Aberdeen, when did Ferguson take on Aberdeen? Let me see. So 86, 78 he takes on, right? To 86. And that Aberdeen had finished second in 77, 78. And then they won it 2 years later. So they must have been a good team, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think if Hearts win it, it's up there as one of the biggest wins that I can think of, because it's up there with Leicester and stuff like that.
I would agree. Oh, definitely.
I think people kind of downplay it because we have. You always look at yourself at being shite, but
it's not their fault.
Exactly. Fuck on. You can only pee with the coke you've got.
Aye. And they've done amazing. And plus, I think from their point of view, they've got Shanklin and Cammy Devlin back. So, you know, they had injuries to their two best players for a long period of time.
Aye. Well, I mean, like I said, see the injuries we've had at the points when we've had them. It's been fucking sore as well, isn't it?
Oh, aye. Alistair Johnson and Carter Vickers, fucking hell. Killers, both of them. And
aye, good shout. Big Billy built most of the Don's team. That's right. Fuck. Good point, man. Fuck.
Aye. But it's, I know, you think the Jota injury, but obviously that I was reading that.
You never had Jota. You knew you weren't going to have Jota for half a season. So fuck them. That's Celtic being wanks, man.
Oh, aye. And see that injury, seemingly it is common for that injury to be like 14 to 16 months.
I'd kind of wrote off. See, when I heard Jota wasn't going to come back till after Christmas, I was thinking, if he's no training before Christmas, then maybe March, and then it got to fucking January and they told us, nah, he's no. Because if he'd have had to build everything up, you couldn't have flung him back in anyway. But you knew Jota wasn't going to be here for half a season. The way we dealt with the forward situation is wild. It's wild. But there's the Kello vision, right? Callum Osmond's injury killed us as well. He was showing pros we need a striker. That was a kick in the balls, that one. Just as you say, mate. Because
that game at Hampden, it was outstanding.
Aye. And then did you see the European game? We were rotting in and he came off the one to get injured. What was it? Who was that against? Michelin.
Yeah.
And I think he came on, did they get the penalty? Was it him that got a penalty for us or something? He done something really good. And you were thinking this wee guy could be the, and then about the boys, but the way we prepared for this season is an utter disgrace. And then today what we've done in the transfer one day in January, fuck me, man.
See, right, I've always thought this, right? And I know Rodgers he's getting vindicated big time, right? He's moaning and groaning. But I still think he was out of order. Like, moan and groan to the board, no to the media. Do you know what I mean? Keep it in-house. Don't, because he was basically coming out and telling everybody his team was shite. And you wonder why they didn't really perform. Because let's face it, we were rotten under him before he left.
Yeah.
We were terrible. And you look at the Kyra Almaty, it was just disgraceful that we didn't dispatch of them. You know, regardless of what team he had. And I'm sure if he had gave it his full undivided attention and bummed the players up and told them they were the best in the world and kept a big happy face on it, on the face of things, but behind closed doors moaned his fucking balls off at the board, we would have got through that tie. But I think it was just his overall kind of negativity leading up to that. I think played a massive part in us getting knocked out. Which, if he had got us into the Champions League and then left, you're kind of attracting and saying that fucking powers that be wouldn't have went for another big manager. Just whoever's on their phone book. And then when Mark and Neil come back the first time, we got to the top of the league, didn't we?
No.
Did we know?
So we're going to go top.
Is that what it was?
And then
we
binned them and fucking get beat.
Aye. Right. Aye. But it goes on the cusp bit, and I'm pretty sure if he'd stayed in the job, we'd probably do it to sight now. You know, because the full changing the way they play, the negativity and all that wouldn't have been there. But you never know. He might have ran out of steam as well. I get the feeling, listening to him last night, that he's not really playing a major role in any of this. I don't really think he knows what he's doing, to be honest with you.
We said before the show, he's just there as kind of like going, things are shit, but remember this guy? Remember the good times? Remember the good times?
Definitely a bit of that.
He just came and sat on that stage and done a wee after dinner speech sort of thing and took the piss out of everyone. Wasn't he serious?
It's a hypnotism routine. He wants the whole room, but something about the whole room to go, we have forgotten about the league.
But they've got ready the dissenting voices in terms of the Celtic fan media. And like I say, Mark O'Neill's fucking up there for me in terms of my hopes, what he means to Celtic, what he means to me and stuff like that. And I don't know if I would have the gumption to fucking ask him questions that are going to, do you know what I mean? And I can certainly smell, the mainstream media are loving the wee wee party. I mean, the many times he's made, that was a terrible joke. No, I mean, and they all sit and go, ho. There was one the other day, I think it was before fucking the Dundee United press conference, and nobody asked him about Araho. You know what I mean? Nobody asked him, and I was like, are we fucking kidding ourselves on here? Somebody asked, and then Jerry McCulloch asked him about fucking Carter Vickers and Jota. You're like, what were the guys who are going to come back straight away? As you say, the way the Casper Schmeichel stuff's been handled, you're like, what the fuck is he all doing, man?
By the way, I think Martin O'Neill's at the stage now, he could say something that fucking really bad. You know? Do you know what I mean? He's at that age that fucking something will just come out one day and you're like,
is that elderly uncle you walk into a party and you go, somebody fucking watch him, right? Somebody keep the fucking eye.
It sounds like Jason thinks he's at the fucking, he's going to turn up in pajamas kind of fucking.
I think he's at the verge of coming out and fucking saying something like I think you need to fucking watch him. These press conferences.
You need to watch him. This is very disrespectful.
Listen.
Imagine that. You're very Asian, aren't you?
Listen. He's 6 years younger than Mama. 6 years. I mean, he's a fucking.
We should have let him out a fucking interview him by the sounds of it, for fuck's sake.
I'm telling you, it's like guys are like, we want you for another year. What the fuck?
Have you got one?
Martin, do you remember when the policemen were bigger?
I just think the caliber of those questions are fucking absolutely abominable. I think people sit in those crowds and they go, I need my voice to be heard. But they haven't formulated an actual question. They think it'll just come. It'll come. Whereas, like, you mentioned a minute ago about the fan media stuff. You're like, how many times did we get invited to fucking a press conference with Ange or Liam Scales, and we got together in a group chat and go, what are we going to ask this person? And we come up with a decent question.
Going to one with Steve McManus and Scott McDonald, and it took every bit of effort because they gave us a wee buffet beforehand and stuff, and I picked up a knife and brought it down, and my question wasn't going to be, I was going to hold up and go, Scott, is this a knife? Shat it.
By the way, we're talking about fan media.
I think Scott McDonald would laugh.
Nobody else would have.
See, we're talking about fan media, what about the fucking scab bastards, the Anfield rap?
Haven't heard of this. What's happened?
Wild, mate.
I missed this.
I fucking despise Liverpool Football Club, and I fucking despise 10 times.
Well established.
So, Joe, the Anfield Rap were invited into Celtic Park to interview Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Celtic media are all banned. And these cunts that going about fucking solidarity and going about fucking justice for don't buy the Sun, whatever. These cunts that have got something like, is it £1 million turnover or something they've got, Scott?
So I heard 1.2, aye.
10 full-time employees in a building in the centre of Liverpool. These cunts come up knowing that the Celtic fans are banned and did an interview inside Celtic Park with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the behest of Celtic Football Club.
But they are not their fan media at that point.
Well, they are their fan media.
I know, but they're if they turn over that kind of cash, they're a corporate entity. I mean,
but they're still fucking Liverpool's fan media.
Bastards, that's what they are.
Are they official LFC media?
Ask Celtic, could they get into Celtic Park to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Celtic said aye, let them in, they interviewed him and they fucked off him. That's how they get in. What do you not understand?
I did understand that. I'm just a bit.
How did they get in?
Well, I'm just a bit.
Aye, who gave him the key? What door did they get in?
Who printed the passes? Who the fuck did this?
Fucking hell. Surely they're no fan media, they're a corporate entity. Oh, right, there's no fucking fan media there.
Do they have cameras? What the fuck?
Aye,
I'm just kind of bewildered at the fact that like that would happen. we'd all get banned. Like we personally don't give a fuck about being banned press conferences. I mean, we've had some interesting. Do you know what? Here's the thing.
Felt bad for me, Mark.
Do you remember? I think we should we tell the story about the time I got a phone call from Ian Jameson after they cut my Gordon Strachan question out of the Ange Postecoglou
Joe.
Should we do it? Because at the time we were asked not to say it.
Go then.
Well, fucking go.
Wait.
You gotta get in trouble.
So
Joe, I've no clue what you're talking about anyway, because I want to hear the story.
Okay. You'll remember when I talked to you about it. So do you remember when we were still getting invited, when Ange was manager, we were still getting invited to online Zoom pods, and I'd come home at lunchtime because it coincided with my lunch break. I come home, have my lunch, and sit down here and fucking do the pod. It was generally always about half an hour, 40 minutes, right? So, as usual, what we would always do, like we did with the Liam Scales thing, like when Liam Scales, we got after the speak to Liam Scales in the kind of press conference online, we decided to have Marty speak Irish to him, and that kind of fucking did what it did. But at this point, we would always get together and go, what the fuck are we going to ask Ange? Because you couldn't put it in my hands. I'll end up sounding like one of these fucking lunatics at the Q&A, right? So we'd kind of carve out a question and ask him. And that week, it had kind of become evident to all of us through like the kind of post-match interviews and a chat to the punditry that Strachan and Ange got along really well, right? So basically, we said, listen, we'll ask Ange about, fucking his relationship with Strachan, and then did Strachan kind of like, speak to him about coming out of the club and blah, 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 whatever. So anyway, and you go into these press conferences, and for all intents and purposes, it's generally the same fucking questions over and over and over again, phrased in a different way by somebody else. And you spend 5 or 10 minutes in the kind of waiting room, and these guys are all talking to each other, so you kind of a bit of an outsider. Anyway, I asked the question. I said, listen, I just said it's quite clear from the post-match interviews and the punditry stuff that you, yourself and Gordon Strachan get along quite well. Was there a relationship beforehand as you came into the club? Did he reach out? Blah, blah. It appears you got a really good back and forth. And he kind of looked offside to the camera and he went, I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I'll tell you it anyway. And he said, when I first arrived in essentially the UK, he said it was in some period of COVID, he said, and I was in a hotel on my own. He said, and I was supposed to stay on my own. And I said, knock on the door. Open the door, Strachan's door with 6 tins of Iron Brew.
I remember now.
Remember now, right? Yep. And so we spent 3 hours together, basically saying, talking about the club, talking about coming to the club, filling him in, blah, blah. And from then on, it's been a kind of relationship, right? So I was like, and I was texting you in the moment going like, Ange is just giving us fucking absolute gold here. It's fucking questions worked in a fucking treat, blah, 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 no problem. Zoom ends, I get back in the car, straight back to the office, which isn't that far from my house. And when I'm in the car, the phone rings. My personal phone rings. And in the car, I go, who's that? And it was Ian Jameson was on the phone, right? And I have no idea how to contact my phone number, right? For a start. It was Ian Jameson himself. I was like, okay. He said, just to let you know, it was a really good question. Really enjoyed that. Very, very nice. You and Ange clearly have a good, fucking a bit of a kind of, not a relationship, like a vibe. I was like, okay. He says, we're going to have to cut that out of the online press conference. I said, well, why? He said, oh, there's just too many difficulties when it comes down to that sort of thing. And I was like, that's understandable. That's fine. And I said, listen, at the end of the day, we know what happened, but we were told not to mention it at all. But see, at this point, I'm kind of like going, fuck it. I mean, you can treat it like shit. I mean, and told like, oh, you're not invited anymore to the party. It was all well and good during fucking COVID when we were needed. I mean, when we were kind of welcomed in. I mean, because we were kind of added content. We would extend these kind of things and come up with kind of good questions, stuff like that there. Because at the end of the day, we sent off a lot of the I'm ranting now. We sent off a lot of the data that we got from the Liam Scales interview, which we packaged up and put it in the tweet the first time somebody spoke in Irish in the press conference. And I swear to God, it might be the biggest thing we've ever sent out because the fucking Irish language fucking Twitter sphere went fucking mental for it. And we give it on to Celtic and they never get back to us. But then lo and behold, he's fucking speaking Irish in different fucking St. Paddy's Day fucking videos. But when you have that kind of sort of, that result, or you can have that development. But when those things happen, you're part of it, and then suddenly you're told, nah, fuck off. It is incredibly disrespectful, and it is incredibly going like, well, we've you invited us in. We didn't ask to come in. You invited us in, and now you're telling us to fuck off. And I find that really, really fucking hard to fucking take at times. I mean, because I felt we added value, not just us, but in general, fan media. I mean, and it showed a sort of level of engagement at that level that we, as supporters and producers of kind of fucking media content, really kind of had a bit of respect for. But now it just feels like we're fucking kind of guerrilla radio is what we are.
They just fucking hate us because we're Celtic supporters. It's
mad.
wild. It's wild. They let these scam bastards for Liverpool in. Fucking despicable. I mean, can you believe that? Into our stadium. Liverpool Football Club's fan media getting invited into our stadium to interview a player. What the fuck? And then, when they get after the split, they fucking Union Bears will be in fucking Yeehan at Celtic Park in the Green Brigade of the band.
Well, this is where it fucking fucks me off, because see, after what happened at Ibrox, there won't be a single consequence to that. Nothing.
Rangers
Football Club are the Donald Trump of fucking consequence. I mean, like, there's fuck all. Like, they fucking storm the fucking pitch, throwing flares, fucking, and nothing. We disagree with the board. The guy argues with the steward. Next thing, ban.
But fair play to the Rangers board. When that, whatever the advisory, the police advisory commission, whatever that 3-letter or 4-letter anagram is that Celtic
is it SAG, is it?
Do you know, Scott, what's the name of them? Who the board put the blame on why the Green Brigade's not getting in? Some police advisory board or whatever.
It's not there.
So they're just telling me fuck off. So they've got no power whatsoever. So it's just a smoke screen.
I never realised I was in mute there. Apologies.
All right.
Sorry. Safety awareness, Glasgow.
That's it.
Right, okay. SAG. So Celtic have says, unfortunately, we've been advice off SAG and the ball's in their court. All this pish. And they went to Rangers, and Rangers is telling them to fuck off. So, absolute nonsense. The Green Brigade, the Desmonds do not want the Green Brigade in Celtic Park.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And that's it.
And as I think, they'll either just open up that section, just as a standing section, or they'll create their own.
What do you mean?
Do their own singing thing. Who wants to come and join this? But that sounds like hard work, so they probably won't do that.
But you got to think that any Celtic fan that takes a ticket in that section is going to be forever classed as a fucking rat bag.
Talking of rat bags.
We've been joined by bollocks to them all.
And we can't even get all right.
And fucking bollocks to you too, McKenna.
How's your
Me? What did I do?
Bollocks to them all. Fuck, I just noticed that. I'm watching this on the TV here.
You can call me out.
I can be your bodyguard. I can be no lost man. If you call me daddy.
What's happening, Martin?
I see you have it all sorted. I was listening in there when I had a couple of odds and ends to do a night, so I had this on the TV for the first time ever, I think. So, no, I just seen your big ball face there, McCorry.
Would you see that again?
Your big ball face just flashed up my TV there. You gormless looking fuck.
I would have combed my hair.
At least he's Marty. He's just been resurrected. Don't fucking chase him
He's
away.
back again. He's back again. Brush at her, McCorry. Your ma be ashamed.
Ashamed of you.
What's your take on the doom and gloom? I feel like we're rolling from doom and gloom into pure anger at this point.
Marty
I was listening. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead. I just want Brendan Rodgers back in a bag of cans. What's the problem? Fuck's
That's a
sake.
Brendan Rodgers bank accounts and a video of the hawk and a fucking thong. That's
Well, I
what
shared that with you today, so you know what
Oh,
the
Sinn
fuck,
Féin.
like. Vote Sinn Féin. How you doing? I listened to Jason's rundown of that fucking do last night, and I was pissing myself laughing. I was actually in tears laughing. I was like, "What?"
Mate, honest
It's
to
go.
God, is the fucking flying
it's
zone.
it's went from the fucking sublime to the ridiculous.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck?
see when I
Unbelievable.
started telling you some of the stories Mark O'Neill was saying, you'd fucking wet yourself, man. It was just
Ah,
ridiculous.
fuck.
Ridiculous.
You're all right. Hang on till.
Oh, absolutely
But look,
ridiculous.
if you think about like years gone by when shit like this has happened, like you know what I mean, fucking maybe the end of the John Barnes season or like Strachan's last season, where you just knew things were just petering out, you know, and you just want to draw a line under it now and move on. Like and like Scott put up a very good defence there about um or Jason put up a very good defence there about like if you as O'Neill was saying, if you get by the pre-split games, then you've 5 matches, you're always in the shoot, and that's true. Like it's not, you're not over egging the pudding. Like it is true mathematically and physically and all of that. You've got a chance, but you can't really see anybody coming back into that squad who's going to give enough of a fuck if you watch the last match. And I mean, if you're like, I laughed at the fucking thing about Maida being in fucking London. Sure, he could have been fucking anywhere else for about the last 6 months. Nobody would have noticed. It's not about a fucking wonder. Fucking O'Neill didn't know where he was. I didn't know where he was when he was playing in Dundee 2 weeks ago. You know, so it's like it's just like you can just feel the ebb just drifting out of the season, and everybody, the players will be starting to think of holidays and new clubs and new houses. Maybe they'll be away to Wolfsburg or wherever the fuck he was going last year. You know, you're going to be losing a fair proportion of the squad, no matter what. Do you know what I mean? And it will be, and away from the Green Brigade and the boardroom and all that fucking nonsense that has absolutely demented us the whole year. It's actually going to be a good thing to clear the decks, because the decks needed cleared, and they needed cleared last year. And as you were saying a minute ago, Brendan Rodgers was trying to do that. And see what you were saying about Brendan Rodgers going out and talking to the press. What, like, Brendan Rodgers was sent out to talk to the press, and he was so, like, you think about it, he was doing maybe at one stage 3 separate interview sessions every day, being asked the same question: when are you signing anybody? And the stupid bastard told the truth. Like, he was going, I don't know. And that was the truth. Like, people were laughing when he doesn't know. He's playing main games. No, I don't fucking know. I do not know what's going on in this club. And like, there are good people who work for Celtic. It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There are people in there who are good at their jobs and who know what they're doing, but they're being failed by the people at the very top. Do you know what I mean? And it won't do any harm to clear the decks in any way this year and just fucking hit reset and start thinking 5 years ahead, because that's literally what we need to do now. We need to be looking at another 5 year plan. The Brendan Rodgers team's dead and gone. From the left of the paying accounts stuff was get up. Massive wage saving exercise. You know what I mean? They're going to get as many wages off the bill as they can, because that's the way they think. That's the way they think. And I'll give you, like, I heard you're talking about the season tickets and stuff. Quality that isn't season ticket based, that'll all go to fuck. And you'll just see deals being done with travel agents and stuff like that. I'm already seeing it now with Spurs. So there's my boss is an Arsenal man, and this is no kidding. Like, for like 80 quid, you were getting in to watch the North London derby in a corporate suite in whatever the fuck you call that stadium now, White Hart Lane. And that's what
Oh,
they'll do next year. They'll just slice the prices on everything, and you know,
no,
and,
no,
and
no, no, that's what I'm
reopen the
saying.
fucking Carrydale suite.
No, the guy that I know wanted a table of four in like a box or anywhere, and he wasn't caring how much it cost, and there is
Mm-hmm.
none.
No, but my point being is, see if this shade football persists, there'll be plenty, because
Uh,
you're there's a I don't want to run people down or talk about our
But
Celtic fans in
people
bad
are
terms.
entrenched, Marty. Like people are entrenched that if they gear up their season ticket, they'll never get it back again.
But you're still staring down the back of the Ronnie Taylor year where people just went, I've had enough of this shit. And it took Brendan Rodgers to write that again. If there's another prolonged period of that type of football where it's just poor, people will vote with their fucking feet. It's totally natural. Now,
Aye.
that's when you see the whites of the eyes of, you know. So all these things, like Celtic isn't about the fruits on its own. It's in a sea with lots of other factors and fucking prevailing winds and all the rest of it. And our club don't give a fuck. They never prepare for anything like this. Do you know? They don't. Like Rogers got them into the Champions League and they found themselves sitting on a bounty. And you could tell, like last year, they did not know what to do with our trading model isn't built for it. Our trading model is built for keep your fucking wages down and sell a player every year. Like they were desperate last year to sell the likes of Ada and Yang, and like the Yang one is like beyond belief. You know, that fella was fucking sitting in a hotel in Swansea or somewhere, told to come home. You know, so their whole thing was just derailed last year, but because of their own malpractice.
They're probably no sleeping at night for refusing that Engels bid.
I know,
Million.
and that's how they think, Jason. And it was only because the foot was put down and said we cannot afford to lose any players here. Look at the fucking state of us, and you're still trying to sell this guy from under us.
It's interesting when you say it because see when you actually think about it, the 1 year in recent times that we've been shite was the COVID year. And when COVID was finished, everybody was just desperate to get back to the football. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely, we're desperate to get out of the house.
That masked that year. And then you're talking, it's nearly 15 years since we had a shite year, like domestically. So this hasn't really been a thing that people.
No.
But if we finish this season with nothing, which is every possibility, potentially we could win the Scottish Cup. But you're looking, there's a good chance fucking St Mirren or Falkirk could turn us out at Hampden. And the likelihood of winning the league's about 15-20% in my mind. So the likelihood is we're going to end up with probably a Scottish Cup, but maybe nothing. And that's not going to be good enough for a load of kind of glory hunters or people that.
And it's kind of the inverse of last year, Jason, because we lost the Scottish Cup last year, and we were all fucking raging. And this year we're getting into the fucking Scottish Cup kind of trepidatious. Do you know, going fuck, we'll win it, we'll win that.
I'll be honest, I couldn't get
it goes to show. No, look, I love a Scottish Cup because it's a day for everybody at the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really mean that. Me and McCorry have been fighting about the Scottish Cup our whole lives.
See, I do love it as long as it's preceded with a league win. But see, after Helicopter Sunday, we went to Hampden the following week.
I was there that week. Fuck, I remember. It was just a fucking. It was like a air getting out of a balloon that year, and then O'Neill was leaving. Do you remember? That was his last match. So look, you summed it all up very well. I was listening to you as I say earlier on. No shortage of passion either, but we'll just have to fucking see what. There's Lenny boy. We're winning the league on the last day. Tell you what, Lenny boy, I hope you're right. And I was arguing, listen, and I'm not a negative Nelly, because when I was coming home the boat the other week, me and Pierce Rice and the big squatters were fucking sitting, and I was just positive then. My big mother, I was going, no, fuck. Pierce Rice was going, next week's a cunt of a fixture, blah, blah, blah. And I was going, it's not, we'll be fucking sound. And they're playing St Mirren and blah, blah, blah. And I think we'll be all right. So I was actually arguing the point, saying, we've enough to get us by here. But the Dundee United game was just so soul destroying because the players, and her just talking about the likes of Arahu. This is what I always say about that January transfer window. It's not worth a fuck. Because you're bringing in players that haven't played. You're getting loan deals and countries that haven't been on their own fucking teams all year. And you're expecting them to go barnstorming. And they're just mentioning Craig Bellamy. He's a fucking case in point. Remember his hamstring went? Because he hadn't played any football for Newcastle before he came to us. And he came in all guns blazing and then went out all guns fucking blazing. And at the end of the day, it cost us in the running. So it's a fucking insane way of of doing football. If you have a January signing, that January signing should be in your mind from the year before, and not scrabbling about. And as in American football, they call them camp bodies, just people to fucking fill out the camp, to fill different spots or whatever. And really, that's all we've done. And there are good players like Arajo and people like that, but lately you'll never see that. Conte again, it'll be another fucking 6 month wonder. So it's just it's like I'm a fucking moron. I couldn't fucking boot a football that was in front of me. But if I can see these problems, how the fuck can the people who are paid £1 million a year not see them? Do you know what I mean? And how can you be taken in by somebody like Tisdale? Because that's the root of the problems here. He's sick of Brendan Rodgers out of the club. Whatever you think about Brendan Rodgers, that's up to yourself. But he's sick of Rodgers out of the club because he was clearly in control of the football policy, and Rodgers wasn't fucking having it, which is why he fucked off. And he took the opportunity then when Rodgers left to really motorise himself and bring in Nancy. And look at the fucking state we ended up in. And it's funny too, because Jason, or whoever it was, just says it earlier on, if O'Neill had us there for about 2 more matches, would have been fucking sound. It goes to show you the fine margins that we have, and it's all our own fault. It's entirely our own fault, So I don't know if that's a fucking cheery note or a what sort of a fucking note, but
No, it's totally in line with the tone of tonight's show, Marty. Completely bang
there we
on.
go. I mean, it's really not hard. Here, and I'm sitting here fucking sober with a cup of tea. I wish it was blacked.
That's kind of all that's bringing us hope at this point is the drink. I mean, Celtic are shit. Things, world economy's going to fuck. You always have the drink.
That's it.
If all else fails, drink heavily.
That's it.
Well, that's we have recorded evidence of that during COVID.
Yep. A drunken stupor remains undefeated. So it does. But anyway, I don't know if you were wrapping the show up or what. I just bounced on to throw in my tuppence.
We're probably 10 minutes away from the fucking from the finish line.
From wrapping it up, tooth up.
We don't do obviously predictions though. I mean, we just do fucking. We just do.
Fuck dear.
We're trying to do hope, and we're failing at doing hope.
Well, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Like the Dundee United should have been a slam dunk. Do you know what I mean? And the Dundee team, Presley has them playing really well. Not like really. They're not going to win the fucking league, but he has them organised, and he's a decent fucking head on his shoulders. He'll know how to play against us.
Well, that's the part. You said the word, Marty. Organized teams against us, teams that tend to baffle us.
That's exactly it. And like you mentioned, Jota, we just don't have that type of player who can be incisive. Like Yang he goes from the fucking sublime to the ridiculous. 1 minute he's just on his game, and the next minute, as I say, he's like an octopus with a football. You don't know what limb is going to come fucking flying out next. And he spends more time tackling him fucking self, and he's not on his own, and players like Maeda and all, they're the senior team, they have totally let us down this year. They've, just Cal McGregor as well is getting old. You can't expect him to carry the whole fucking team anymore, and there's been no succession plan for him going or anything like that. And like Scott Brown's been fucking sacked from Ayr. Would it surprise you if Scott Brown ended up our manager in June?
No, I thought the same thing. Marty would have seen that.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me one bit.
Nothing with Celtic would surprise me.
No, and the attitude will be, well, the team needed a boot in the arse last season. Here's the man to come and do it. You know what I mean? That'll be the fucking whole spin. So anyway, this weekend having a fucking Schubert. God knows.
And that's where the anxiety comes from, because every weekend you're going like, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what turns up.
There, MacArthur won the chat. Celtic will win the double within a hound's goal at the split, and they'll pull away in the final 5 games. We'll beat the Huns, Hearts, and Motherwell at home, when we're playing Motherwell away, in case you didn't know. And the 2 Hun teams will drop points. Love the option.
I'm going to bookmark that fucking comment, and if that doesn't work out, we're going to fucking hound you.
It's not going to work out. We're playing Motherwell away.
He's wrong from the start and start about the fixtures. So, but look, listen, that sort of PMA, I have no problem. If people can choose to support Celtic in whatever way they fucking choose. It's fair play to them. As I say, I was exactly the same 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't believe what I was watching at the fucking at Tannadice. I was just like, this is unbelievable. And as I say, with a team full of wantaways, husbands, and loan deals, that's who we have. And so that's what you're attempting to cobble together for the next load of weeks. And like a lot of our players wouldn't have been away on international duty, obviously a good few were, but other ones weren't. So it was a chance for them to get their fitness up, or it was a chance for the likes of Fotheringham or Maloney to work with them. They say, right, here's what's coming up, here's the sort of contribution you need. Let's work on it now and examine our opponents. Because Celtic don't do that. Celtic never really look at Dundee. They just expect you to. It was who was it? What do you call him? Donati. Like that's one of the fucking criticisms that Massimo Donati had of Celtic, and he says one of the reasons why he didn't thrive here was because he knew nothing about any team we were playing. It was just your Celtic, go out and win. And he was used to like an Italian fucking breakdown system where they had like a brown envelope full of fucking dossiers on every single player in every single club. And I get the fact that you don't really need that in Scotland, and that money should win out and skills should win out no matter what. But still, if you're coming up against a team who's not playing to your fucking game, what do you do? Like Dundee United, what the fuck do you do? What way are you getting around them? What players do you need to target who are weaker? Because that's essentially what you're doing. Then you're putting your best player on their weakest player and trying to find holes and gaps and chances and stuff. Whereas you were just blathering yourself against 8 men, standing 9 men standing behind you or standing in front of you. It's a wacky way of doing football.
I think the only way we'll be doing that is through Fozzie and Maloney, because I don't think Martin O'Neill would be doing any of that stuff either.
And Jason, he never did.
Aye.
And he was quite right about Walford took the training, and fucking John Robertson was the link between the team and O'Neill. So Robertson was like the fucking office grass. He was telling fucking O'Neill who was feeling down that weekend, who'd shit going on in the background, who'd fucking excelled in training, who'd really showed something. That was all coming from Robertson. Like O'Neill used to come down and watch the last 10 minutes of training, and then would defer to them and defer to his coaches. And there's something to be said for it, but you wouldn't get away with it nowadays. Do you know what I mean? It's that old style management, whereas Rodgers was completely different. He was a game manager. He managed the entire game. Brought players on, brought players off, and all that sort of thing. And O'Neill's just an old man. And it's fucking ridiculous of somebody to turn around and say, tell him, will you take us next year? There's a chance he could die in the fucking dugout next year.
Oh,
like, come on, the fuck. He's an old man.
It came across to me last night. He is fucking daughtery.
And all that. Like you were saying about his press conferences, and he was chatting away and throwing jokes out and all. Nobody wants to fucking hear his jokes. I don't. I want to know what the fuck is going on. And like that Kasper Schmeichel thing that you spoke about too, but nobody was it Scott. Scott says he would have asked him about Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, he asked what I was wanting to ask.
Was it you? You were going to, man. Like, I thought that was actually a humiliating thing to do with Martin O'Neill. I felt it was humiliating.
Do you know what? No, I just didn't see it. It wasn't the right time or the place, and like the crowd, it was I was like, get you out of here. I didn't want to ask him anything pointed. And the only way we got into talking about the Celtic will win the league, it was Jerry McCulloch. Not one of the fans asked him. It was as if everybody was like just sitting there. Because all it was like a night out with him. It was like an after dinner speaking. It wasn't like see anyone you've been before with Ange, Rodgers, whatever. Everybody was asking them pointed questions to find out what the future of Celtic held. Sitting there with him, it was just like humorous for a minute and let's get out of here. Fucking, it was awful.
Do you know what I mean? So,
look, 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. And it's like,
I know. Like, and you can understand the two people just want Martin O'Neill because he's Martin O'Neill and he's the character he is, and the chat that you get out of him and all that's brilliant. You know what I mean? You wouldn't begrudge anybody, but like it's just not the fucking time for it. Like there's serious issues going on.
I'd say Liam loved it though, did he?
Not really.
Liam?
You couldn't. Liam does love him.
Fucking,
yeah.
We all love him. Like there's nobody fucking having a go.
But what is the function of doing that though? What is the function of that Q&A? Like, what is the point?
It was just
Well, the point was is to reward the people who had paid money over the year. Like, isn't that what it is, Jason? You just get access.
Well, but it sounds
Whatever.
like they just stole more time off the people that are fucking paying more money.
Aye, but it's basically these cunts are buttoned up the back, get them in here for an hour, couple of hours, fucking let him talk all the shite to them and send them on their way. They'll be back with their fucking money next year.
Email go, here, no the way your price point's a bit higher. We're gonna roll out Grandpa Simpson for a fucking hour and a half.
That's what it fucking was. Honestly. He is going to make a cunt in a press conference. You mark my words. He's going to come out with something and just going to say, get that mic off him. It's in the post. It's fucking in the post.
What we should do? We should send. We can't though. We can't say Mackie anymore, can we? Because we're banned. Fuck. We should send Mackie with some fucking weird questions. We can't.
He's still fucking sharp as a tack and he's funny and all that, but Marty says he's an old man, and he is.
Aye, his seamates is my dad. My dad's in hospital at the minute. You know what I mean?
Jason, the thing is, Jason, if we were 6 points ahead in the league, that sort of night would be a raucous night out. You know what I mean? Everybody be in great form.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So what you had then is the usual dickheads, the type that go to the fucking AGMs, and yet everybody else who was there for answers sitting with their fucking head in their hands. Because they realised they were never going to get the answers, no matter what.
I suppose it's probably a mixture of happy clappers and skeptics.
You know, so any road, we'll not fucking change this. So we'll not. Where's Scott? He's Scott fucking threw himself off something high.
Oh, at least Scott's back.
I was about to say it's a triumphant return from Macquarie.
He got there ahead of Jesus on Sunday, so fair play to him.
So, yep, to Dundee on Sunday.
We have a wee day out when we're going to Longforgan first. So hopefully I'll be absolutely fucking paraplegic and I can't see it.
Yeah!
What time he's leaving at, Scott?
I think we're leaving at 11, mate.
What time we're leaving at?
1.
9:30.
9:30? Really? Who's going? You going lucky again?
Who's going?
It's the Swally Olympics. Fuck, let's go. Who's going to get there first?
They've got a singer on in. Listen to this one. The pub that we go to, they've got a singer on for 3 hours. We're going to be in Lockheed
for 3 hours.
5 hours before the game. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. Little Tipperary shall be rocking on Sunday.
Carnage.
What time's kickoff? I thought kickoff was at 2.
4:30.
4. Fuck me, right? That's
Which is actually perfect for the guy on the sofa.
Oh, no, after our Easter dinner. So it is. Or they'll let everybody get home from the Republican plot. Time for the match.
That's perfect. My mom asked me the other day, she goes, are you doing is there a parade you're going to down there? I was like, Matt, the South doesn't do Easter parades the same way Belfast does Easter parades. It's not the same thing. I mean, that's a very unique moment.
There we are. So, what else is on the agenda, Joe Hofus?
I was basically found the end of the rainbow, mate.
Did you hear us talking about the fucking scab bastards for Liverpool that came up and did the podcast?
But here, that's just like, I wasn't even surprised. I remember I saw it because it was like a big Celtic drape. And I was going, what the fuck's this got to do with the Anfield rap? And then obviously it came out. I was like, oh my God, talk about fucking poor optics. Jesus Christ. They could have sent them to fucking Liverpool to do it to save their blushes. But you couldn't mark their fucking actual blowtorch. And like we say that as people who don't really engage with that sort of shit, you know what I mean? We don't really do the press conferences and all. It's just not our thing.
I know. We're not hungry for it, but we enjoy doing it though when it's good. Right?
This is it. And
my point is, what about the scumbags for Liverpool that go on about solidarity of fans and fucking fan engagement and they fight for the rights of fans and that, and then
we all know. See in the Premier League, the fan means football. The Premier League now.
So do you mean, Jason, that the Anfield rap should have been backing us?
Aye.
Yep, I agree with that. That's a very fair point.
But we as fans mean
I
fuck all to them.
see if I could hate the cunts anymore, I would, but I can't. So fucking, they can't get any fucking doing in my estimation. The fucking rat.
That's interesting. I wonder did anybody fucking make that same point to them, but that's a very, very fair point. We're out in fucking demands for fans' rights and all, and there they are up fucking shafting us. Fucking scouse cunts.
All right, Ox, what's it like playing up for Celtic?
Very few of the Scousers, put it that way.
I know. Here, imagine that interview too. Because I remember somebody saying to me years ago, "What the fuck would you want to interview a Celtic player for?" I said, "I can't say anything. We're not allowed." And I was going, "Do you know what? That's actually right." So whenever we had the temporary stand, we tried to get ex-players, who could talk, and all these ones were falling over each other to interview players outside. And I was going, "But they can't tell you anything. They can't tell you any stories of what went on."
And see, the thing is, if we weren't banned, can you imagine us asking Celtic to get a first team player to do an interview and they'd hunt at you? Yet they fucking let it.
What was the 10
It's
years ago when
mental.
they asked us to promote something and we asked them for a fucking jersey to give away and they
jersey?
returned to us? What would they ask us to promote?
It was it not a fucking kit launch or something? And we said, "Well, that's grand.
Yes,
but
that's
not
what
give
it
us a kit.
was. That's what it was.
Would you not give us a kit to give away?"
They wanted us to join a full-on fucking promotional charge, like as a podcast, and we were like, "Oh, cool! Can we get a jersey to give away to our fucking listeners?" Silence.
Hello, Celtic. Hello.
Anybody out there?
I even followed up going like, "Any word in this?" Nothing. That's like,
fucking sums them up. What's that? What was that? 50 quid or something for a jersey? That wouldn't have been the fucking price of fucking things are now.
Wholesale prices, it was about fucking £6, I'd say.
Mind your man Nicholson was at Scott Hotel is better, but that's not be 6 months ago or whatever when you get one of your first meetings with him. When the collective got the first meeting and they says, "Right, we appreciate communication to fans could be better." It's just been fucking the last 6 months. That's how they get Matt O'Neill in there as the manager, just to deflect everything after.
This is like, he said, communication can be better, but it could also be worse. Well, guess which part we're going to fucking choose?
You ain't seen nothing yet, boys.
Here's the
Scott,
new boss.
That's how we finish this off. Scott, bring us to the collective. We have a meeting tomorrow. I don't want to put you on the spot, like, but I imagine there's.
Well, the meeting tomorrow is the signatories. So last time we had a meeting, there was a bit of, I don't know the best way to describe it. You guys can label it once again. So if you remember, it was just before the Stuttgart game, and there was talk of a protest, right? So we done what game was it? It was a cup game, wasn't it? That we never went into. We done that. There was a vote on the night, and the night voted for a boycott of the cup game in the room, and there was discussions that evening of elevating that to protest at the game. It was voted, would people want a protest? And the room voted yes. But it was left at that. Now, obviously the boycott of the game happened, but I'm trying to remember what happened. So the Stuttgart game, it was decided, I think there was a meeting, they called a meeting with it, and it was decided we weren't going to push, certainly the collective weren't going to push on the protest, but the protest happened by some people anyway. It wasn't an official collective said all in, and it happened. We ended up getting a 15 grand fine. Alas, fuck's sake, not as if we're short yet, you know what I mean? So tomorrow's meeting is going to be interesting. What people need to realise is the collective, no matter what you think about it, is made up of representatives of Celtic groups. It's not 6, it's not 10, it's not 22 people who sit in a room and decide what they're going to do and they just go ahead and do it. Their actions, their ideas, are generally led by the group they represent. Me, for example, I represent the Vogue. And the Vogue at this point are still, I'd say, 99% in the collective. So we are still in the collective. Once the Vogue turn on it and say it's no for us, I'm out. So that's people need to realise that. So see tomorrow, all the signatories again will be invited. And the plan of attack will be discussed. Now, if people go in, if they've got an idea of what they think should happen going ahead, bring it to the table. It will be discussed in a civil manner, I would hope, and agreed or disagreed or whatever. That's how these things work. The collective has stalled somewhat, and to say it hasn't is ingenuous, but is there hunger for protest of this team whilst we fight to get this league title? I don't think so. Me and Joe were talking about this beforehand. I've said again, I'm sure I've said this numerous times. I've been dumbstruck by how much self-harm Celtic are willing to do to stick their fingers up at their support, to never seem to be allowing the supporters one step forward. You spoke about Brian Wilson. Ultimately, Brian Wilson is just a wee Celtic supporter who's got a wee bit more power than me and you, but that's not it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he holds no sway in this fight at all. And all he's doing, to me, as it sits in now, is just delaying things. He's going out there and he's saying things, and the media's picking it up, and those who have decided that they despise the collective for whatever reason, generally I find not a good reason, but I'm sure there's the odd one out there who can convince me. And the people who they hate the ultras, Brian Wilson's got no power to get these guys back in, backed up by the fact that what you spoke about the SAG group. I mean, we have got no desire to bring the Green Brigade back because of the people within our club. That's it. I commend them on muddying the waters this season, because what I remind people about the collective is the collective was made up of all the major supporter groups and more who decided that what was going on at Celtic was pathetic and wasn't right and wasn't being run right. And we as one gave them a no vote of confidence. Now, I would like anybody to tell me what Celtic have done since that would retract that vote of no confidence. Because as I've seen it, this board of directors deserve another vote of no confidence, never mind taking the last one back. I don't know if one count is like Uno, you like double up or something, but that's what people need to remember. They muddied the waters by bringing the GB into it, and what they done then was made it about the GB. And the GB themselves, as well we know, is a very divisive group. So what Celtic expertly done was, we'll fire that in because that'll split it. And it's got to the point that we as a collective, the main topic for a long time was getting the GB back in the ground. When, see, honestly, lads, as much as we know Martin Gemmell, as much as we know fucking Ross and the boys and all that, we don't know the inner workings of the GB and what they went through all the years. And see, to be honest, it's none of my fucking business. I'll trust them. But it's hard to get into a fight when all you're really doing is, without all the information, is you're basically supporting them. I mean, I believe them over the Falkirk thing. I choose to believe them. Mark, who spoke to this in the past, right? I choose to believe them. I have somebody who said they were there, so I choose to believe them. But it's frustrating that we're in that fight and we're not actually doing what we were supposed to do. Did that make sense? I hope that doesn't sound like I'm trying to kind of dip away from things, because I'm not. I support our backing of the Ultras 100%. I support that. I generally support everything that the collective do, because I hear it from their mouths and I trust the people involved that everything they're doing is for the benefit of Celtic and not them. And tomorrow, I kind of hope everybody comes with a fresh approach, with a fresh attitude to how we can benefit Celtic. Now, to kind of finish off this, because I didn't know I was going to, is I want the collective to grow in what its aims are. That's my belief. I would like us to be now involved with other Scottish football groups in bringing the price of tickets down. I don't know if you've watched the Ultras thing. I mean, other clubs seem to embrace and seem to run things. We just don't. We seem to be just, if it's going to cost us money, we're no interested in doing anything to help anybody. I think we should be involved. Jeanette has been very, very heavy in talking about the advisory board. Jason, I remember you talking about the advisory board 5 years ago, mate.
Yeah.
5 years ago. So I mean, there's green smoke put in. Give up your season book and tell the board to ram their policies up their arse. I think it's a fair and valid point. I mean,
but you're not going to get a whole lot of buy-in for that, are
you're
you?
going to get that buy-in, and then once you ask somebody to do something that you're not going to get buy-in, you lose that support.
Well, you can't become the pressure point then, because you're asking.
Yeah. See, this is tomorrow. Tomorrow, if everybody in that room say we should have a boycott season tickets, and everybody supports it, then that's what we're going to be pushing, because that's what the people want. We're a democracy. We aren't a fucking dictatorship, no matter how much. And nobody wants to be on the Celtic board. I'll tell you that, fucking 100%. Like I say, I'd like to see the collective review itself and change, and not so much change. Keep on the targets, but widen its approach to things. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to see that, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens and to hear what happens. I'm sure you're all here before I do. Fucking people sitting AI note take. I hate AI. Bollocks to them AI. Anyway, I don't know what point.
The
Aye, so that's the meeting tomorrow. I hope somebody walks in and goes, do you know what? I've just inherited 300 million and I'm going to buy out Dermot Desmond, but you never know. We should invite Willie Hockey. You can fucking tell us.
Here, I was going to ask, whatever happened to Willie Hockey's £10 million?
Well, I heard Willie Hockey's cutting about Spain in a fucking thong, but that might be the right Hockey.
The good thing.
There's one Hockey.
We're not talking about the other Hockey, for fuck's sake. The other Hockey was driving out of his fucking work the other day with probably more money than Willie Hockey has. I'll say no more. Fucking Slab Murphy would have been proud of him.
The strain of horror is.
Are we in Joe just to finish
the straight of Hockey is.
Right.
But listen, listen, fuck is all. And you McCoy. Scott McCoy is a piece of shit.
I feel so much better after this. This is why I like doing this.
Sorry, nobody else will.
Fuck that.
I'm away to watch the Yankees. Can they go?
Goodness, folks. You know what? That was fun. As depressing and as low as it was, it was again cathartic. It's good to get it out there. I mean, it's like having a good shake.
Aye. Well, I'll be at a caravan next week, so you can ram me a pod next week.
You're wearing a caravan?
Caravan. I'm gonna
And
car-
you're Van Morrison, and the caravan is on its way.
If the caravan,
Get ready.
There you go.
You better get ready. You better
if the
get
caravan is, if the caravan is rocking, don't come a knocking.
ready. The caravan of love.
Right,
Every
folks,
woman, every man.
that was good. Listen, we'd love to give you hope, but that's not what we're here to do.
Wrap it up, the fuck up, Joe.
We're neither here to provide entertainment, analysis, nor hope. But what we can say is, let's see how it goes.
Where's your chair?
Where's it going, dude?
Get out.
Listen, we'll
Go
talk
on.
to you again soon. I'd love to see you next week, but the periodic
knows.
nature of these podcasts, who the fuck knows? It all depends on how Celtic play. Listen, see if Celtic lose against Dundee, you might never hear from us again.
Yeah.
The end of it. I mean,
We'll not be in our podcast.
it'll be we'll do a Shelbourne podcast.
Oh, I forgot to listen to that. I must listen to it tonight.
Good luck.
Good news. Right,
listen,
bye.
yeah, folks.
See you later.
Hail, hail. Jeez.